GTA is a legendary franchise, but make no mistake, the Definitive Edition is anything but definitive. So this is how we make our own Definitive Edition on the Steam Deck. Disclaimer: the hardest part about this tutorial is procuring yourself a legal copy of Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy. The original releases have been delisted from Steam, unfortunately. Maybe you were as smart as I was and bought the games before they got delisted. So let's get started with Grand Theft Auto 3. You'll want to start with a couple of things. And by the way, this is all assuming you have a clean install of GTA 3. You will also want to download the following. There will be links in the description down below. For easy access to the game's files, right-click the game in desktop mode and go to Browse Local Files. You will need to be in this folder. Now that you've done that, you can start downloading the files. First, you can download the ASI loader. Just download it from the GitHub page. Do not download the x64 version. Once the zip file has been downloaded, you'll want to open up the zip file and then extract the dinput8.dll file directly into the GTA 3 folder. You'll then want to create a new folder in your GTA 3 folder called scripts, and then open up the scripts folder. You'll then want to download the Silent Patch, which fixes hundreds of bugs in the original PC releases for GTA 3. You'll see two downloads, one regular download and the DDraw component. Both are absolutely necessary, so be sure to download both of these files. Inside the Silent Patch 3 zip file, you'll see a few files here. You'll see both an ASI and an INI file. Extract both of these files into the scripts folder. As for the model folder, you'll want to go directly back into the GTA 3 folder and then copy it and extract it there. Be sure to overwrite everything. As for the DDraw file, you'll just want to extract the ddraw.dll file directly into the GTA 3 folder. And you've installed the Silent Patch. Now you will need to download G-Input. Without G-Input, controller input doesn't work as expected. In this topic, there are versions for all of the old GTA titles. You'll obviously want to download the one for GTA 3. Extract the ASI and INI files directly into the scripts folder. Extract the models folder directly into the game folder. Overwrite everything. The G-Input API folder and docs folder is not necessary for the average user. Next up, you'll want to download the widescreen fix. There's a couple of different titles in here, so be sure to select GTA 3. Not only does this let this game render at the proper aspect ratio, it also fixes a certain issue with playing this game on the Steam Deck. You know, like the black screens. All you need is the widescreen fix file. This zip file has been neatly arranged for you, so just extract everything directly into the GTA 3 folder. And of course, the cherry on top, the no intro mod. This will automatically skip all of the intros, like the logos and stuff. Extract this into the movies folder. Be sure to overwrite all files. Right-click the game and then go into Properties. In the launch options, you will want to type in the following. You can just copy-paste it from the description down below. You will also need to download Proton GE. You can just set it to the latest Proton available. For this video, we're using Proton GE 743. And now, for the moment of truth. Honestly, I can't believe it just works. It's pretty good. It even works with controller. You will want to set the controls to classic to mimic that PS2 feeling. I do have to say, I was not expecting it to just work like this. And yeah, the graphics do look a bit dated, but they look a million times better than that AI upscaled bullshit that you see in the fucking Definitive Edition. Like, seriously. The process for fixing Vice City is very similar to the process for fixing GTA 3. You're mostly just downloading the same stuff. You use the same ASI loader and no intro mod downloads, but this time for G-Input, Silent Patch, and the widescreen patch, you're downloading the Vice City version of these mods. Furthermore, all of these mods are installed the exact same way. The only difference is you're doing Vice City instead. For the most part, the download locations are in the same spot. And yes, just like GTA 3, you need both the Silent Patch and the DDraw component. The process is literally the same for Vice City. Yes, even the launch options are literally the same for Vice City. And yes, just like GTA 3, you'll want to use the latest version of Proton GE. And yes, Vice City does in fact work on Steam Deck now. Now that wasn't so hard, it's even got modern controller support. I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but by default, menu confirmations are similar to how they were on the PS2. That being A for accept and Y for going back. This can be changed though. So before we move on to San Andreas, there are some optional fixes for both GTA 3 and Vice City. The first of these is getting yourself the 1.0 executable of both of these games. Version 1.0 of these games cannot legally be obtained anywhere. Downloading these games from Steam or the Rockstar launcher only gives you the latest update, and version 1.0 has the best compatibility with mods. One of these mods being Sky GFX. Quite frankly, the lighting on the console versions of GTA look far superior than the ones on PC. Like this is the default PC version of the game. Now here's the same screenshot with the superior console lighting. It's quite literally a night and day difference. This mod in particular requires the 1.0 executable of these games. I can't give you links to the 1.0 versions of these games, as that might constitute piracy. I mean, maybe, I don't know, just Google it. Now we move on to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The process for San Andreas is fairly simple, though there is one step that needs to be done on Windows first. Aside from that though, the process is very similar. To get started, you will need a fresh copy of San Andreas on Windows PC. If you have an original install of San Andreas, the 1.0 version of the game, you can skip the downgrading process. But if you're like me and you have the Steam version, there's no way to download the original 1.0 version. That's why we're using this totally free and totally legal to use downgrader. This isn't piracy because you're not downloading any files. This utility merely patches some files around. It makes them equivalent to their 1.0 counterparts. The downgrader is easy to use, just follow the instructions. You even have the option to duplicate game files and modify those duplicates instead of the original install. So just follow the instructions for the downgrader and you should be good. All of the other mods are the same as they were before, except you download San Andreas versions instead. There's a link in the description down below for a full written guide. But after downgrading San Andreas, it's literally the same process. I'm just choosing to do it on Windows before I transfer it over to my Steam Deck. The only new mod that I've included here is Sky GFX. It gives you more accurate PS2 graphics as opposed to the crappier PC graphics, believe it or not. The models in Neo folder go straight into the game directory, and skygfx.asi as well as skygfx 1, 2, and 3.ini and stream.ini all go in the scripts folder. You can ignore the DLL. Once you're done with that, transfer this over to your Steam Deck. It's best if you install GTA San Andreas on your Steam Deck first, and you can install on either your SSD or SD card. You can then proceed to copy your entire modded GTA folder and overwrite everything. You will also need to type this into the launch options. Also be sure to use Proton GE for this game. If done correctly, you have a copy of GTA San Andreas that not only plays great but also works in widescreen. G input mirrors the PS2 controls of the game, which includes things like confirmation and back buttons. Unlike most modern games, the PS2 versions of Grand Theft Auto use triangle as their back button as opposed to, circle or B. This can be configured. Other than that though, you have a version of the game that has no removed content. A lot of the original licensed music is still there. Not to mention, you have fan patches that fix a lot of issues with the game itself, with modern controller support as well. And yes, the game does look quite dated still, given that this is an old game, but it still looks really good all things considered. At the very least, it looks way better than the definitive edition. You can even mod this game to your heart's content, though we're not going to cover that right now. This video's been going on long enough. Maybe we'll cover this in a future video. Special thanks to Chitan for writing this guide up. If you like high-tech lowlife, you should check out the rest of my channel. And if you like the rest of my channel, you should like, subscribe, and spread the good gospel of high-tech lowlife. Furthermore, we have a community Discord server. There's a link in the description down below. Check us out.